I just have one question.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Juan Pablo Montoya.
He's back. Tell a friend.
Yes. I think I'm done with the Juan jokes now, but Juan Pablo Montoya, who hasn't raced in NASCAR since 2014 at the Brickyard 400 in the number 12 Penske car, actually. He's back. Who would have thought that in 2024? Juan Pablo Montoya, not just back in NASCAR, but back in the NASCAR Cup Series. And where's he going to be starting? Well, the place he actually got his last win, Watkins Glen, won there 14 years ago. It's been 14 years. It's hard to believe. But yes, 2311, they teased this yesterday. They had a silhouette walk up to the camera, had someone put a golden ticket in front of their face. But thanks to the hair and the forehead and the shadow, we could tell who it was. We all knew the legendary Watkins Glen and Sonoma winner, and we also knew the Indianapolis 500, two-time Indianapolis 500 winner, I should add. Winner. Juan Pablo Montoya back in NASCAR. 2311 said, "Welcome back to NASCAR, Juan Pablo Montoya. To help celebrate the Mobil 1 brand's 50th anniversary, the championship-winning driver in multiple series will drive the final race for the number 50 Mobil 1 Camry XSE at Watkins Glen. As a former winner at the Glen, he is proud to return to the series to honor one of his first sponsorships during their milestone year." So yes, this is going to be the last start for the number 50. I'm assuming they're going to still have a part-time car, or they're at least going to have a third car, whether it's full-time or part-time. It just won't be number 50. The whole reason it's number 50 is because it's the 50th anniversary of Mobil 1. Of course, last year when Kamui Kobayashi and Travis Pastrana drove this car, it was the number 67. But as I said with the sponsorship, it's number 50 this year. So Juan Pablo Montoya will be in the 50 car this year. And remember, Watkins Glen's a playoff race this year. So just another added element. Could you imagine if Juan Pablo Montoya shows back up, is still in prime form, wins at Watkins Glen? And by the way, this is, as I said, it's been 10 years since he's been in a NASCAR Cup car. Well, this is going to be his first start in the next-gen car. Now, he has a lot of racing experience under his belt. He's got a lot of winning under his belt. He's done a lot of sports cars. He's done a lot of open-wheel, Formula One, IndyCar, and the NASCAR as well. So I'm not saying that he's going to not know what to do, obviously. But it might be a transition. It might be, a learning point. And with the short amount of practice, you really got to get yourself going pretty quick. But then on NASCAR.com, there's this quote from him. "I'm looking forward to getting back in a cup car and racing at Watkins Glen, a track I really enjoy and had the chance to experience earlier in my career. It's an honor to celebrate the Mobil 1 team's remarkable legacy in racing and be recognized for my contributions to motorsports. The Mobil 1 brand was one of my first sponsors when I started racing, so to represent the brand again as they celebrate this milestone will be special. I'm also excited to work with 2311 and experience what the team is building." Then the team president of 2311 Racing, Steve Lauletta, said, "Juan Pablo Montoya is a world-class driver who has won in everything he's driven, and he will be a great closer to the 50th anniversary celebration we've had in NASCAR with the number 50 Mobil 1 Toyota. The events have highlighted racing legends as well as what's next in motorsports, and 2311 has been honored to have been a part of adding to the Mobil 1 legacy and celebrating such a monumentous occasion." So yes, Juan Pablo Montoya, back in a cup car, driving for Toyota. So I think that means he's driven for every manufacturer this century. Well, did he drive? No, not this century. He hasn't driven for Pontiac, I don't think, but at least the most recent manufacturers. Chevy, he was at Chip Ganassi Racing. Ford, he drove for Team Penske for some one-offs. And then he drove for Dodge for a bit. And then even Toyota now. So there you go. There's 4 for 4. But we've seen Kamui Kobayashi in this car. We've seen Corey Heim in this car. It's a good thing. It's fun to see new drivers, different drivers, or old drivers come back. We've seen Trackhouse do this with Project 91, obviously. They haven't done it this year. I think Shane Van Gisbergen essentially ended that thing. We've seen RFK do it with the Stage 60 car. They got David Reagan to come back. They got Cam Waters to do a race. They got Joey Hand to do a race. So we've seen every manufacturer do this in a sense, but 2311 now seems to be spreading out in terms of their drivers. Getting Kamui, getting Corey Heim and NASCAR within the NASCAR realm, a young driver, and then also getting Juan Pablo Montoya to come back. And once again, I just can't believe this is happening. It's such a cool story. Of course, there's going to be a lot of jokes about the jet dryer incident from 2012. Very funny, yes. But Juan Pablo Montoya is a very achieved, a very decorated driver, what he's done in his career. He's won in NASCAR. He's won in IndyCar. He's won 2 Indianapolis 500s. He's won Formula One races. He's went toe-to-toe with some of the best in the world across multiple series. He is to be celebrated. That is what I will say. But I will say I am super excited to see how he does. The 48-year-old Colombian, I'm curious to see how competitive he's going to be. Obviously, he's going to be in a pretty good car. He's going to have Tyler Reddick there, who's a pretty good road course racer. Of course, Bubba Wallace as well. Not as great on the road courses, but has a lot of experience on them in the next-gen car. Very curious to see how competitive Juan Pablo Montoya is. I'm really hopeful. I hope he can be competitive. I think it would be really cool to see him come back, be competitive, finish in the top 10, top 5 maybe even. If he can win, that would be absolutely incredible. It would be insane, and maybe it would stop some of the jokes about the jet dryer, because I feel like that's what the majority of NASCAR fans know him from. But there's so much more to Juan Pablo Montoya outside of the jet dryer incident. So, yeah. But anyways, Juan Pablo Montoya is back. This will be the last start of the number 50 car this year until they change it back to 67 or another number, or it becomes a full-time car with Riley Herbst or whoever. And then maybe are they allowed to have a 4th part-time car? I don't know. Anyways, we've seen Kamui Kobayashi, we've seen Corey Heim, and now we're going to see Juan Pablo Montoya in the number 50 at Watkins Glen, the track he won at 14 years ago. So really cool story if you ask me. Let me know what your thoughts are on Juan Pablo Montoya back in NASCAR, back in the Cup Series with a Toyota this time with 2311. Really cool move by Denny Hamlin, Michael Jordan, everyone over there at 2311. So yeah, later today we're going to have our, 9th championship case, I think. It's going to be Alex Bowman, so we'll talk about Alex Bowman, his chances at the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series Championship. Thank you guys for watching this video. Any other news I will keep you updated on. I'll see you in the next one, probably later this afternoon, in the championship case for Alex Bowman.